Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel, and let's start. I'm gonna put some cards. I'm not sure if I say it in every reading, but I got this new deck, and this deck has got two sides to it. Well, this card kind of fits, and well, the side, there's no anonymous side, right? So the issue is basically that I don't want to shovel them, I just pull them, right? So, that's the first card. I just keep it because the way this channel functions is that the message actually comes in before I make the reading, so. Ooh, angry bird. Okay, well, yeah, so, gonna pull some more cards as usual. Yeah. No. Canadian. Oh, magic. There's so much magic. So the first card is transformation. Allow the energy of fear to be transformed by love, creativity, and compassion. And this really fits. Also, it's funny. So the time of this reading, when I wanted to point out this number, was also 144. So 44, very aligned. And this is a. If you look at this horse, it has, it's a very strong energy, you know, it's this, a horse with wings even, you know, and the horse moves forward in a very distinct way, and it's not a way that the horse has anticipated, but it's very transformational. And this really fits, because I think you are in a situation where you felt a bit like a horse that was trained or is trained to be controlled by other creatures, you know, by humans, you know. This horse or those horses, you know, if you look at this, they are wild horses, and the people on the horses, they are trying to tame them, you know. And those horses, they still have the spirit inside them, and they are struggling to be tamed, right? And this horse almost looks like it's okay with this, you know. It tries to do that, right? But it just doesn't work. And there's the landscape in between. And what's that? That's interesting. So I'm not too familiar with this deck at all. I don't know what the back is saying, but let's find out. Contest. Be yourself fully, and you are without compare. A true winner of the only contest that matters. Yeah. It's this, you are a wild horse, and you tried so much to be tamed, but the universe has put you in a situation where you were again in this situation that you probably have been before for so many times. And it caused you to be angry, you know. Look at this bird. It's like trying to fly, but it's not flying, but it's still it's angry. You know, it's angry because it's sitting there, and it seems to me that it's tied down to this area here. It's just tied down. And if you look at the eye of the horse, horse, the bird. It almost looks like one of those dots, right? It's a universal eye, right? It's a somewhat awakened eye. It's this. Why have I been led here? Why am I sitting here and being stuck? You know, it's this feeling that probably the horses have when the other creatures are trying to tame them. You know, it's like, does this never end? You know, do I always have to fight for my freedom? And what does the card say? Risk. Be aware, or you will have to beware. Do not deny the risk and hazards that you see. Yeah. I'm not sure how this applies to this image, but if you take this as an additional message, I think when you are trying to tame yourself down, right? When you are trying to yes. So Major Tom says also things for you. So when you are trying to fit into this, you know, to fit into all of this, what is the risk in being, you know, trying to fit into a system that you don't fit in? You might say the risk of this is that you will be excluded, you know, or that you will be somehow be worse off, you know. I'm getting this with a it could be a job, you know, that you really try to fit in, but you don't fit in, and you tried it to the point where you even caused harm to yourself by maybe trying to cope with it. But it can also be a relationship. It can be anything. It's just an example, you know. It's this, like the horses, you know, they are being molded into this to, yes, to function, right? They have to function. And if you think about this in our system, we also have to function, otherwise we will probably be excluded, right? And I think that's where those cards are coming in. This is almost the peer pressure. It's this pressure of other people and how they are coping. You know, maybe you are in a situation where other people, they function, you know, look at them, they are all looking the same, but you are so not. You are also in a way a person, right? If you look at this, that this is you and the situation, but you feel like this. And the others, well, they also don't really look that happy in the card, right? And you're wondering, because you were led there because of a lot of number alignments also. And, you know, you see some signs and synchronicities, and you are wondering, you're trying to connect the dots, and you're like, what? You know, so whenever we see signs and synchronicities, this situation is something that we are being led to, not because particularly it feels good. It doesn't have to be. Maybe that's what surprised you in the beginning, you know, that you were led there because there were so many signs and synchronicities and all of this goodness. But, you know, because those are 11 faces, right? And you were led there, and you still feel so bad. You are wondering, why am I feeling so bad in this situation? I've been led there, though, so there needs to be something in there, right? Yes. And you were trying to connect the dots in this direction of, okay, well, if I feel so bad about this, it's clearly me, right? I'm the issue. I've got this problem. I'm not supposed to run, You know, I'm getting this, you know, that you are really judging upon yourself, you know, for the thought of, hey, I need to run now, right? And this also made you angry because you don't really want to run or leave, you know, if it's a job, if you leave this, it might be that you don't know what the next thing is going to be, right? And you're just wondering because you are getting angry because you know of the risks, and you are wondering, why did the universe put you into this position? And you try to connect the dots and the signs and the synchronicities in the way of, okay, I cannot run, I shouldn't run, right? And therefore, because you don't want to run, you then try to cope. And how do we cope? We cope by engaging in other unhealthy behaviors sometimes, you know. Just, you know, something that, you know, it could be anything. It could be any unhealthy coping mechanism. It could be just that you are so worn out after a day that you are just scrolling mindlessly through the internet and just not getting anything done anymore because you feel so exhausted, because you know, when you try to mold a horse into unnatural movements, a wild horse, it will cause the horse to also have pain because the muscles might not be adjusted to the unusual movements that the horse has to make, right? And I'm really getting drawn to this thing. It seems that there's a barrier, you know, a barricade growing out of the head of this horse. But you want to be a wild horse, a free one with a wing, you know? If you see that, this in comparison to this, and the underlying anger in this, and you are pointing the anger towards yourself. You are like, well, why am I not functioning? I really do want to function. Right? And you're angry, but you have your wings, and you're like, yeah, but I mean, I cannot fly here, but it's almost like you try to fit in, but you don't, because you have got wings, and they want to cut them off and mold you into something that you're not. But you still went all the time. You went up and down this route, you know, this, well, there are signs and synchronicities, I have to cope with it, you know, it's like, it's just my attitude, you know, and everything like that. You're like, why? You know, you are really putting all the hate and anger towards yourself, you know, for being such a failure almost, you know, for wanting to run and to escape and to fly away, you know. And the others, they are, you know, you look at the others and they are functioning. Not very well. They are also coping, but they are almost resigned, you know. They're like, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. It is what it is, you know. We have to pay our bills, stuff like that, you know. It's just, yeah, well, you know. And you're like, you still cannot cope with it, and it makes you question yourself. It's this Snailian. What are you? Snail and alien, what are you? Why are you not functioning in this system? And it causes fear. You know, it's this risk thing. Because you're really afraid of letting the situation go. Or basically, how you would most likely phrase it, run away from it. And there's a difference. There's a difference, because if this is a situation that is like this, you know, are you really running away from it? Or are you just seeing your nature, your true self, and acknowledging that this is not the true you, and that you have to go down the road that is not very popular. You're angry nonetheless, because you're like, well, you know, like almost like a bee that was led to a plastic flower, you know, sitting down there. Maybe someone has sprayed some perfume on it, so it smells like a nice natural flower, but you're sitting down there and you're like, there's no, I can't make honey out of this situation, I'm sorry. But and the bee, you know, it's like, why have I been led here? And who am I? And what am I supposed to do? And what's the magic? But I think the magic is coming in, because the realization for you is that you are actually this beautiful wild horse, and a powerful one in the middle of nature. And there's the darkness here and there, but the darkness today appears to be your own trial to fit in, because it's the judgment that you put upon yourself, and you look at yourself and you're like, okay, well, what if what's popular, what they are doing, is actually the wrong way? What if this is not the right way? What if I'm the only one who's seeing that this is not it? What if I'm the only one who connects the dots in a different but very natural way? Still makes you feel lonely, you know, and you are scared because you want to leave. And what you have to see in this situation, that you were judging yourself for wanting to run, as if you were as if it was something bad that you want to run. You know, as if it was something negative to run away from the situation. But if you love yourself enough, and you accept yourself for the powerful and beautiful being who you really are, a horse with wings, you know, this almost looks also a bit like still this pressure of all of this, you know, you want to go and run and be free, wild. And you suddenly see the situation in a totally different light. You always said that it's me, it's, you know, it's just me. I need to figure out a way. But the real freedom and transformation lies in the realization that, as angry as you are about this, you are a wild horse that they tried to tame. The system tried to tame it, and you tried to tame yourself because you've been in the system for so long. And you just need to surrender to the risk that you also were scared of letting this go, and not judging it for I'm running, but I'm letting this go because I deserve to feel better about myself, and with every consequence, you know. And it says allow the energy of fear to be transformed by love, creativity, and compassion. And you have the love and creativity and compassion for yourself to see, wow, you know, now I'm suddenly drawn to those straight lines, you know, those made by a ruler, you know, not the way a natural line would be when you just drew it, right? And you're like, well, it's a plastic flower. There's no honey in it, right? And you were hoping for the magic to get you out of there, but in the end, I think after you made this realization, something, the darkness almost drops. What's this? Let's see. It's a beautiful card. Oh, wow. It's this, wait a minute. I don't need to participate. Whatever happens, happens. I can just trust and let this go. And there's no judgment behind it because, well, even if you look at the others just living this, you know, all looking the same, and you are also trying to be the same, you can just let this go. Yes, and I'm not sure what Major Tom wanted to add to this, but let's see. Timing. If you are in the creative flow, you feel everything flowing together in divine order. This realization itself already made you feel better because you know now that you just, you know, I think previous to the realization that you don't need to stay there at all, even though you thought that you really have to stay there, it makes you relax a lot more. And look at this bird now, you know, it's in the middle of nature with all the butterflies, and there's another magical being. It's a, I don't know what this is. This is a human something with wings and playing the flute and being like, you know, it's this almost this tranquil scenery of nice music playing and everything is so nice, and you're like, wait, I can just go and I don't even need to feel bad about it because you can trust, right? You can trust that that the magic surrounds you, and that yeah, that you just don't need to be attached to it so much. That's the main realization, I think, because if you are, you know, you can still stay for a while because of the timing. Like, okay, maybe you are because of this detachment and this of this, you know, and maybe also the secret plan of, you know what, we don't care about this anymore, and I just stay here for as long as whatever, but I don't really care. It already lightens up your mood, you know, and secretly, you know, you're already in this landscape of tranquil and nature, and yeah, well, you know, you're fine with the risk that you're taking by already saying goodbye to the situation in your head, right? And you're like, oh, you know what, I'm not even trying too hard at all. I just don't care about this. And but the signs and synchronicities, you're still wondering, what's that all about? Let's pull another card. There's the horse again. In nature. A wild horse, this time untamed. The moon. Also, the moon is tired also watching you. And look at him. Like, he's a bit like Major Tom, right? He's standing there and he's also wild and free, and you're like, nature. Go out in nature as much as you can, for its pure creativity can teach you everything you need to know. Yeah. You're like, you know what? I just go. I plan already my exit. And even if there's nothing in between me and the other, and even if there's uncertainty, you know, it's fine. You will be fine. And that's the point that you had to learn with those signs and synchronicities. Sigh of relief. Says you can go. It's fine. And it's not running. Even though this horse is running, but you are running towards yourself. So you are not running from anything, and you are not a failure for quitting something that you don't want. It's fine. And it's totally fine. That's just what I'm getting. It's totally fine. And you are beating yourself up all the time. Funny, huh? Revelation, there it is. Great lesson. Thanks, universe, for that. Right. You're like, I thought the signs and synchronicities meant that I have to stay in this. But the signs and synchronicities actually meant that your lesson was to leave this. Duh. Deep quiet meditation and stillness. Yeah. It makes you relax a bit more. You know. Yeah, I mean, we are scared of leaving things behind and running from things. But the true power also is within accepting that you don't like it. Maybe it also, look, the 11 again. Again, a synchronicity, right? But, you know, I'm drawn to also tell you a wee story about what I've experienced during my life. So, that's also an example of something where you have to have the strength to leave, even though you think you shouldn't. So I traveled to Australia. I was backpacking. I got myself a work and travel visa, and I was all excited the first time of me going to Australia, which is very far away from Europe, right? And I was so excited to go there because there are so many people. They went there, right? And they were happy backpacking, right? So I arrived there, and I didn't like it at all. Like, I didn't like it at all. I didn't find a job straight away at all, but I had a few savings, right? But I still felt bad. I didn't like the weather. It was way too hot. The people were nice, don't get me wrong, right? Nice people there. But like, it was just, the weather was horrible. I just didn't enjoy myself at all outside, and I didn't find a job, and it was just also, I was house sitting, so I was at least staying there for free, you know, the accommodation was for free. But still, you know, after 3 months, I was just like, I hate it. Why? I'm supposed to enjoy this. This is a magical opportunity. You know, it's like once in a lifetime you travel to Australia, you go backpacking, and I'm sitting here, lucky me, but I hate it? What's wrong with me? You know, and you are questioning yourself. So what I did, after 3 months, I had just enough money left for a plane ticket or to really try to make the best of staying there, right? And, you know, trying to proceed because the visa lasts a year, and after 3 months I booked a flight back. I just booked a freaking flight back, and I was like, okay, bye. And I felt bad about it. Because I thought, I'm supposed to enjoy this. I saved up for it to go there for a while, and that was all I was thinking about. And now I'm leaving after just 3 months, right? But it could be, this is just an example, but the strength there was to see yourself in this and to acknowledge that you just don't like hot weather, that this is not your continent, that, there were way too many flies, which is okay. I mean, I live and let live and everything, it's fine. All the crawlers and everything, it's fine. But, if you don't like it, then just leave. And that was my lesson, and I felt in a way empowered, and I was so glad to be back home in a way, in a cold Europe, rainy Europe, which was the weirdest thing for me to experience. But it can be, this is an example where you also judge yourself for running. You feel like a failure in a situation that clearly should make you happy. But it can be anything, because when you think about a job, well, no one really dreams of labor, right? So that's an easy thought to have. And then you are judging yourself because others are putting themselves through this painful situation too, right? And that's a different judgment that you put upon yourself. Then you think you are weak because you don't stay in this job. We need to stay in this job. But also it can apply to something like this, what I've described, where you think you should be happy, you should have the best time of your life. Hey, you finally are working, traveling, you are living the life, right? And you're like, no, I don't like it. Bye. So, that's the lesson in this, and that's your lesson in this. It's this, it's fine. People are nice there, but it's fine. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. If you have been led to a plastic flower, well, there ain't honey there. No honey, honey. But I think it's also this being scared of leaving this behind, and that's where the magic card comes into play. You do not need to be scared of leaving the situation, because the gift is in this. If you leave it behind, you can stay as long as you want to, as long as you think that there might be something still in there. You can still fool around with it, but if you leave and you are scared of the risk that you are taking, just be assured that the magic is in this situation. And also after it, the universe rewards you for being so brave. That's what the universe does. So you don't, things have a magical way of evolving, or developing. It's a magic in there. Yeah, and it's a very transformative experience. Transformative. Yeah. So, I hope this reading helped. And let's see who this reading is for. Capricorn. Okay, I hope it helped. Additional info is in the dial box below. And see you next time. Bye-bye.